Hello, beautiful ones. We are just about at the peak point of the autumn equinox, which happens tomorrow. I can't tell you what time because what I do is not strongly and precisely based on astrology. I am not an astrologer. I am a very novice lover of astrology and an intuitive energy reader, interpreter. So I can tell you that with this time, that as we're switching seasons, that it's always a time of review and of really making some pretty structural change in our life. Spring cleaning is a thing. Well, it could be something really at every turn of season. Is what do we need to adjust? What needs to go? What needs to come out? Thinking about, in the fall season, a lot of people start to pull out fall decorations. Well, what might that symbolize in your internal world, in your internal home? Is it time to start to mentally prepare for maybe the weather change? And in doing that, knowing that you're somebody that may have seasonal affective disorder, I don't like that whole thing, disorder. Just it's like a label that doesn't feel good, but you're affected by the seasons. What can you start to plan and put in place now? What can you plant in your daily life that's going to create some kind of structure in your world where you can manage the effects of the seasonal change? And I'll also mention this in the new moon reading for this weekend, is that it's time to change our diet. We're supposed to eat the foods that are capable of being grown at this time. And even if you look at Chinese medicine, this is a time that's about our digestive system, our large intestine, our small intestine. When we move into fall, it's the element of metal and the intestines with the body. So this means that it's a good time to do a little bit of a detox. And there's so many detox options out there. Maybe it's some sort of fasting. Maybe it's just sticking with certain foods. Ask your body. Your body is going to tell you exactly what you need, when you need it, how long to do it. So check in with the body. So for this equinox, let's highlight. Oh, got two cards. So we have lightning and the ghost dance. Now, when I did the Libra new moon reading, it was thunder. It was about, oh, wow, okay, I'm starting to get some information. Yeah, the thunder was about big change, unexpected change, even in a sense. But thunder comes from lightning. What does the lightning card have to say? The formidable electrical discharge of a lightning bolt brightens the sky and strikes the earth, accompanied by a mighty sound of thunder. The phenomenon has a positive effect. The light illuminates the earth and the psyche, but there is a destructive side as well. The bolt can burn and even kill if it's too strong. The forces of the upper world are investing their gathered energies to ignite you with the new inspiration and creativity. Allow this divine gift of awakening to take root in your being and enjoy a renewed sense of clarity, passion, and vision. Life has gifted you with a destiny that is in alignment with your passion and in harmony with all existence on earth. Now lightning has come to jolt you into accepting your destiny. Let the initiation release what is in the way of your fulfilling of your life purpose. Otherwise, you'll be bound to your karmic fate. This is a time to be courageous and daring. That follows pretty well with the message that we got with the lunar phase. So it's like that perhaps you'll get one more really clear opportunity to leave, to exit some attachment that you know is ultimately going to cause demise. And if you don't, that's when that thunder card applies. Is, okay, well, if you're not going to take this graceful message, then there might be something more detrimental to wake you up, to shake you up, and to get your attention, to alert you. You have a guilt card. Is guilt holding you in place with that? Blame. Grief. That's tough. Okay, let's look at this ghost dance card. The ghost dance of the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Ha! There's that blame card. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. Past lives meaning, doesn't have to just mean prior reincarnation. It can be prior to this moment right now. We have lived many lives within one life. So that could be referencing just another portion of this particular life. The ancestors have a message of healing and powerful medicine to offer you. Create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. If you are trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, of mourning, a lost youth, or opportunities missed, it is time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, as the people we love or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives. There is no learning for you there anymore. Yeah, again, there's an overlapping from this new moon with this equinox. The equinox, autumn equinox always represents what would be like the waning of the moon. As we're moving out of the fullness of the summer, we're moving towards the darkness of winter when things become dormant, where the energy becomes, I'm totally at a loss for words at the moment. Contracted. In the summer, it's spring, summer, it's expansion, and fall, winter, it's contractive. So that symbolizes the death cycle. We have life, spring and summer kind of represent childhood, and then like adolescence, and fall can represent more of like sagehood, and winter being the death and the release. So there's two things that I was hearing there, and one is like the initiation of maybe stepping into the next metaphorical cycle of life, where you go from childhood to adulthood, or adulthood to parenthood, parenthood to sagehood. You know, if you have been in a place where you've been resisting to grow up in some sense, or to take responsibility in some sense, this might be the time that you're being asked to really own this next stage of your life, to let go of childish ways, not the heart of the child or the sight of the child, but childish ways, the things that we really have to grow out of. Maybe trying to continue to act the way you acted at a certain age because of the fear that if you grow up, you're losing access to, maybe it's being desired, or having, a certain kind of friendship, or, it's the question of, are you ready to enter into the next phase of life? And with that, there's grief. As we start to move into these next 2 seasons, there can be the grief, the loss of the fun of summer, the loss of the fun of childhood or adolescence, or, relationship. Maybe there's guilt. This guilt of, oh, but this person won't be okay without me, or maybe you're feeling guilty with yourself because of something of the past. Maybe you're feeling guilty because of things that have occurred, because you've allowed a situation to go on beyond its prime, go on into toxicity. And are you directing your energy to blame instead of taking that full responsibility? And forgiveness. I really feel that this is a stage of forgiveness. If you're holding guilt or blame or grief, there has to be forgiveness in all of that. And knowing that you have done everything that you knew to do at that time. And if you know something different now, that you should perhaps take action so that you don't have to feel guilt again. So fear's holding us in. We're going to meet fear. That's what it's saying. Okay. Mediumship. So this is talking about ancestors. Let's review this for a second. So if there is a relationship in question, you know that that's what this is referring to. That card talked about the cycle of repeating what the ancestors before you did. That you showed up in this life to cut the cords to that particular cycle, to heal where there have been these distorted patterns that have been lived by the ancestors or in your past lives. And to use the resources of the archangels or your higher self or ascended masters, saints, Jesus, Mary, whatever it is that you feel most supported and empowered and held by, use those resources. If you feel like you can't, you call on those divine beings who can assist you. Ultimately, you have to do it. Nothing will change without you changing it. But you can do things to support yourself in creating change. So if you're having the fear, then you call in the assistance. To set some space aside to create an altar, to communicate and to honor those that have come before you, that maybe you are aware of a pattern that you're repeating that's related to them, or maybe you're not aware and you're looking for insight. This could be really helpful in neutralizing and empowering your path to liberation, of really choosing, do you want to repeat the cycle again, or are you ready to fully step into your divine nature? And with that comes purpose. So this isn't just about relieving the stress of this cyclical pattern or starting a new phase. Whatever this initiation process is for you, it is about trust. That stepping into the unknown, of doing the thing you're afraid of, even though your body resists it, your heart, your emotions know the way. Trusting that, building that bridge of trust and communication with the intelligence of your emotional field and your intuition, your spirit. This is your purpose. Yes, we all have missions and specific goals that we're here to attain, experiences that we're here to have. But the liberation of yourself, your ancestors, that is your purpose. That is your ultimate purpose. And in liberating yourself, we liberate others. We liberate the world. You will discover more about who and what you are the more that you lean into the thing that you don't want to do, that you are afraid of doing, the power you're afraid of having. This is your purpose. And if you've been looking for direction as to how to operate in the world as far as purpose or service, that will show you. That thing, that letting go, that initiation will refine your vision. You will receive more synchronicities and signs the more that you are on the path. This is a big season. This is collective, so it's like I almost get the image of like an earthquake, like a cracking of what used to be one unit, and the vision shows like you may have already had the instinct to move to one side of this piece of land, and if you choose to refuse your instincts and your intuition, when that land cracks, it's going to be much harder to cross that threshold. So this is not a small thing. This isn't a fence that's going up. This is a major change, alteration. And this will be a month to meet fear, yes, but grief, guilt, blame, and these all very torso focused energies. Grief tends to be stored in the lungs, guilt tends to be stored in the sacral center, blame, shame would be solar plexus. So this is very torso focused and indicative of, even if you look at Chinese medicine, indicative of how this season of going from summer into fall affects the body. So cleansing your colon, cleansing your digestive system, your lungs, that's going to help to create more clarity around some of these emotional burdens you may be feeling. The grief, the guilt, the blame. And to rectify anywhere that those places have separated you from truth, the truth of your purpose. So this felt like a bit of a heavier reading, and yet this is the ebb and flow of life, of knowing that even when we do encounter these heavier, more trying times, that it is to create more space for us to experience the elation, the lightness, the joy, and the polarity of some of these lower operating areas. And yet knowing that we don't have to necessarily experience any of this. This could just be something that could be much easier for you. This might be a time in your life where you're aware of an initiation process of a change, and you just choose to accept it and not resist it. It's when we resist that we cause pain, that we cause challenge and difficulty. Well, not challenge, but I'll just say difficulty, suffering. It's our own resistance to what is that causes our suffering. It is our attachment to the way things were or the way that we want them to be that causes our suffering. So just remembering that, the less you resist, the less you suffer, the less that you attach, the more easy and free-flowing your life can be. And that is, that's a journey of many lifetimes. So sharing this with great blessings as we move into a season where it feels there could definitely be some interesting times ahead. Get your body on the earth and in the sun as much as possible, especially from today until Saturday with the energy of the equinox. It's much stronger. You'll receive the upgrades that you need so that your body can tell you and interpret the energy much more clearly. And you know what minerals do you need to shift now, what in your home needs to change. How can you support yourself as we move into this season of contraction. Thank you all for joining. Like the video if you get a chance, share it if you know somebody that it would assist. Drop comments in if there's anything that you would like to share, and I look forward to sharing this again very soon with our next full moon. Blessings to you all, and keep it simple, stay pure. Pura vida.